Good morning. It is Saturday and it rained all night. I mean, where we had flash flood warnings and all of that. I didn't know it was going to have that much rain. Generally I like to put my tarp up and cover the plants because I have a couple of plant holders that don't have holes at the bottom. But they actually did fine. I just didn't feel like dealing with the tarp, and nothing was had too much water in it. I don't really like those strawberry plants to get tons of rain, but I don't know. This tree, it like just covers the majority of this area, so it really helps as far as rain goes. It does not drench everything because that really stops a lot of it. So everything's fine, but I didn't know what it was going to look like this morning. It's supposed to be cloudy all day, maybe some thunderstorms later. This morning though, in my office, I went in there and there was bright sun, and I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I will generally open my window. I mean, everything, not just the curtains, but I open it, I raise it up, which I did here because I like to get the sun rays because it comes in perfectly right here in the morning. Well, I thought, oh, the sun's going to be out at least for a little bit. I ran in there, fixed my buckwheat, which I generally don't do it this early. It's actually before 8. I was just thinking it was 8 o'clock. But anyways, that doesn't matter. I was going to come read my Bible in here while that sun was out, but it is kind of, the clouds are already covering it. But it's still, I might still can catch a ray here and there when the clouds are moving in and out of it. But my goal is to stay motivated as much as possible today, because if it's going to be really cloudy all day, that kind of demotivates me. But I'm wanting, once again, to get more of this office decluttered, because, I mean, look at it. I'm really needing to get rid of those bags, give those to somebody. I may just go ahead and put them out in my car or something to get this cleared off, because that will make it seem not as bad. But that's what I'm going to hopefully be getting done today is, just more office stuff. I need to make a list of what I need to do today. I need to go to Natural Grocers, and I need to stock up on some raisins and some butter, and some other stuff. I don't know. I'll see when I get there. But I have my coffee. Well, there's no coffee in there yet, but it's waiting to be made. Well, I'll talk about this later. I did get my coffee tumbler or whatever from Amazon. I'll talk about that in this video later probably as well. Got my eggs, 2 boiled eggs going for the next 2 days. I already ate the one that I had in the fridge. So thanks for joining me, and we'll just kind of see what happens in this day. Okay, it is raining again. But it's actually nice. Usually, I can't explain it. There's something about I've realized, and I realized this like a couple weeks ago what it is. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I really like the rain, the summer rain, and then sometimes when it's just cloudy all day, I'm like, this is, so unmotivating and depressing. And I realize what it is. As long as the sun does come out, like on a normal day, the sun is out, and then a rain comes a little later, I tend to like that. I don't know. I think I just need at least a good amount of sun, and then it feels like it's just a summer rain, or it can kind of be relaxing in a sense. So, you would have seen I did end up milling some flour. A lot of times I go ahead and let the dough rise and then form it, put it in the freezer that way. But I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put the flour in the freezer. That way I can just make it from the bread machine. That's easier. And since I was doing a lot in the office, I just wanted to make it easy. So this is what I have so far. This right here is going to be Goodwill. And there's not much in there right now, but I was just getting some stuff out of this closet that had been waiting to go to Goodwill. This bag is actually all of those craft supplies, that I was putting in Ziplocs. I wanted to gather them together in one place so I can give those away. So that's not trash, and this is not trash. This is trash. This came out of the office. Now, so you're going to notice that I didn't show the majority of this because, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I've actually done a whole lot. I mean, of course, there's a lot more clutter, it seems, everywhere, but I did a lot. And I'm not satisfied with this up here, but that's how it's going to remain right now, because I'm just trying to get things in places. I can worry about the rest later. Those bears, I really don't want there. I really love those bears. I got those for Christmas. They were in the living room where I now have my rabbit because they're like winter bears. but I think they're really cute. They're white. I will probably put them up. I'm just once I get in the closet and get to those tubs, I will then put it in there with the Christmas decorations. But right now, that's where it is. Um, so this is what I have right now. I'm just trying to get this um at least everything where I kind of want it. You will see I've added this shelf, and I might have showed that part. I can't remember. I This shelf was down here, and I thought, you know what? I can put my printer and everything on there. And so that's what I'm doing. Added some of the plants that were outside. Well, that one on the left was in the living room, but the other ones were outside. So I brought those in. I told you I was wanting to, and I actually did look up stuff on aloe vera. It's very good for you. I want to get a few more aloe vera plants. And I'm just wanting to add different types of plants because they're really like medicines. And just, anyways, that's another topic. That's the candle that my middle daughter got me. And I opened it because I can smell it. It literally is smelling this whole room up, which I really like. This, obviously, I've got to do something with that. I have went through and decluttered everything. For the most part, I just got to find places for them. That's a lot of glue. I feel like I'm going to actually need to get rid of the glues. I only need a few. I mean, I'm not going to be gluing much anymore. So, you would have seen, let me move that. This is my notebook. It has all kinds of craft stuff in there, but I added the paper, decorative paper. And so that really makes it look nice in here, right? It ain't just like a notebook, but just added things on the front, the side. I don't know if you can see the side. I don't want to move it right now, but anyways, did that. You would have seen I actually put those roller balls or whatever on the bottom of that was a cutting board. It had kind of broke. It was wider than that. Not from this way, but from that way. And it works perfectly. I can just slide it out of the way. So I love that. Got more stuff put into here. What else? Oh, in this dresser, the top of it. Now I got to get the rags and stuff off that I was using to clean things. But this was over here against this wall. Had a lot of craft stuff on there, but I'm just going to be putting random stuff. Like there's some of my essentials that I use. So yeah, going to do that. I will remove all that. I will then, after I kind of get this as much as I can do, I have a big dot underneath this that has a bunch of pictures. I'm going to separate those into Ziploc bags to my children. I'll still keep them in there, but they'll be already separated. So, if I die or something, they won't have to sit there and go through pictures. Their name will be on them. They can just grab the Ziploc bag. I am going to start some lettuce again, but I want to get all this situated first. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this shelf. I may have a bunch of plants on this shelf over here, but none of that's going to be on there. And I need to get the majority of the stuff cleaned out of that closet. So, anyways, I'm going to go into all that. I definitely want to get this flower into the closet somehow. So, anyways, right now it is a mess. But I really need to take a nap. The thing is, once I start something, I do not want to stop. And that's what I'm kind of dealing with now. I'm like, I just need to do a little bit more. But I also am looking at stuff going, I don't know what else to do. I don't know where to start again. So I think I need to just go take a little nap, rest a little bit, and then we'll see if I'll definitely have to do something in here at least to get the stuff off the floor. That way it won't be, you know, too bad for Monday because then I can just pick up working on it. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I opened the window because I like to hear the rain. I may come in here and lay down and actually put some type of something on TV up there. I don't know, but I do like to hear the rain. Okay, it is 8:30. Um, it is, what is today? It's Monday. And it started out Saturday and then now it's Monday. But anyways, I've got so much done in here. I think I feel like I've already showed you some of this, but I'm not necessarily leaving that black thing there. I just rolled it there earlier this morning, actually, when the vacuums are coming through, just getting it out of the way. I don't know where I'll end up putting that. Actually, I've still got to put things in different, certain places, stuff like that. But anyways, I did get a few more things cleared off this desk today. I think I would have put that on there, or maybe I just stacked it better. What did I do? Yeah, well, that's what I did, isn't it? I just put it in the floor. But these three things, I've got to go through those. There's pictures in those top two. I don't really remember what's in the bottom one, but I've got to get all this organized. And I think I mentioned I'm going to get pictures separated into categories for my children. I'll put them in Ziplocs, that way one day when I'm gone or whatever, they won't have to like sit there and sort them. They can just pull their own Ziploc bag out, and there's probably stuff I just need to throw away as well. But I still feel like it's so much better, not as cluttery. Okay, so you would have seen me messing with this. I am starting my lettuce in this little hydroponics garden. I'm going to actually let it start tomorrow because I think it goes 12 to 16 hours with the light on. So I have to time it in a way that it will go off by at least 9 or 10. So, but I don't want the bright light on in the morning. So I'll probably let it turn on about 8 in the morning. So I can get some lettuce going there. So you would have seen that. I also went to the dentist today, like right after work. So, you would have seen I was getting some bread made in my bread machine. I'm trying a different recipe, actually using the white milled flour this time and a smaller loaf. So I don't know how it's going to turn out. It actually was just beeping for me to take it out. So let me actually kind of do that here. Okay, so it's not as beautiful on top as the red wheat usually is in the bigger loaf, but it'll work. Um, this way, I'll know that I'm able to make smaller loaves because when I make the bigger loaves, I have to be sure and get those eaten pretty quick, which I need to just freeze those when I do that. But anyways, I wanted to try this out, and this will be my first time making bread with the white flour. Okay, I want to talk about a few things that I got. I got these. These open when you push the little thing. Um, because I've been hearing how the tea bags, there's like plastic in the tea bags. So I want to start doing loose leaf. I can use this in my pitcher that you probably see me do. I put the tea bags in there, fill it with water, put it in the fridge. Well, I can use this. I could use it even in a teacup. You know what I mean? So I may take the tea like out of the tea bags and put them in there. I mean, that'll at least be better than seeping the tea bags in. You know what I mean? So maybe it won't be as expensive, but we'll see what happens. And then I don't think I maybe I mentioned this. I've been wanting to do some cold coffee. I know I was talking about how I was trying to learn about, making the cold coffee. Well, here is this little tumbler. It is glass. The At least the bottom part. This is plastic. Glass straw. When I took it out, I was very I mean, I don't think I realized that it was going to be glass. I thought it was going to be plastic, even this part. But I wasn't worried about that because I wasn't going to put any hot beverages in here. So I was actually pleasantly surprised when it ended up being glass. I think it's only like $10. I'll put a photo or something. We'll also link it. That's what I'll do. Um, Now I was also pleasantly surprised because it came with two of these brown straws in their glass, like I said, and a clear one. Now I will tell you, the glass was way darker when I took it out of the package. It was as dark as this. I don't know if you can tell the difference. The straw is really dark. This part was really dark too. But then when I washed it, soap and water, it kind of lightened. So, I mean, it's still fine. But it did disappoint me just a tad, but it is still has the brown. I don't know if you can tell or not. Sometimes it looks darker. Like from here, it looks darker on my end, but on the camera, it looks very light, more clear. So, anyways, even though it is not as dark as that. Anyways, so there's that. And I did get a couple of ice trays, and I'll talk about how I made it. And I did try it Saturday, and I really liked it. So that'll be able to be a treat for me. I was trying to think if there was anything else I was going to talk about. I'm actually watching Jason Bourne. Um, I think that's it. Yeah, so that's just kind of a summary. Oh, I will tell you earlier today, I don't know if you would have noticed, maybe you can look at the early part of the video. The plant on the right was in a terracotta pot. And when I was opening the glass part of the window, because I wanted to let sunrays in, I'm not used to having plants there. And I knocked it off, and there was dirt and the broken pot down here. And then when I was filling up my tumbler of water from the Berkey, I forgot. I went in there and it was water running everywhere. So that's kind of some stuff that happened today. And then I went to the dentist. So, um, but yeah, it's been like 90 degrees, I believe. So